Hi there, greetings everybody, and good afternoon or good evening if you prefer. Welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of the show. So we're doing an episode of Favorites, show I do every Wednesday night. And the episode we're doing tonight are 5 hidden gems, 5 progressive rock hidden gems. Gotta get a drink or my throat's gonna crack on me. So I did a video not too long ago, I don't know how long ago it was, where I picked 5 underrated or underachieving albums, progressive rock underachieving albums. And when I put this together, I remembered that video and went back and checked it, and I had a couple of albums on there that obviously I love them because I put them on the second video. So I had to change it and pick out a few others, took out the 2 that were in it, and put in a couple of others. So the first one we're going to be talking about is this one, Peter Gabriel's second studio album, released back in 1977, I believe. I'm not seeing it here, but I think it was 77. It's funny how they don't label anything anymore. Anyways, from top to bottom, I've talked about this album recently too, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But I'm giving it more attention because it deserves it. It doesn't get talked about that much by whenever I see these shows on YouTube or whatever, when they're talking about Peter Gabriel, they talk about number 3, they'll talk about Security, they even talk about So, and sometimes they even talk about Us or some of the newer stuff, but they never talk about this one. I've even seen them episodes on Peter Gabriel's first album, which I'm not a big fan of, but it gets talked about a lot. This one just kind of goes under the radar. I think it's because it's not nearly as heavy. It's not as much electronically driven as some of the other albums. Kind of a little bit more on the pastoral side. The use of a lot of acoustic guitar and piano and stuff on it. But the songs from top to bottom on this are great. On the Air, DIY, Mother of Violence, all fantastic tunes. Even Wonderful Day and A One-Way World's kind of different, quirky. I do like White Shadow, Indigo, and Animal Magic. That middle portion of the album is very strong. And Home Sweet Home to end out the album is really good. So this is a strong album. This is often sometimes referred to as Scratch. One of my favorite albums by him. And I think it's a hidden gem. To me, it's a hidden gem. Definitely deserves to be mentioned a lot more. So it's getting that tonight. So the first album on the list, Peter Gabriel 2, or Scratch if you prefer it. Next up, some people might say this isn't really a progressive rock album, but I think it has a lot of progressive rock elements to it. This is the debut album from Supertramp. Got 2 or 3, you got some stuff on here is very different than you will get on any other Supertramp album. This album actually reminds me of Trespass from Genesis, which is an album I love, and this one has a lot of that kind of content feel to it. Same kind of stuff on it. It's a little pastoral at times. The vocals are different than a lot of other Supertramp stuff. There's a lot of songs that... So you don't get any songs on here that are really well known, but there's a lot of really good deep cut songs on this album. I like this album a lot. It's definitely grown on me since I got it. I wasn't expecting it to happen, and I like it. And coincidentally, it was released in 1977, same as the Gabriel album. So the next album up in my Hidden Gems collection is this one from Wobbler. I believe this is their 3rd studio album, released back in 2009. Actually, I think it might be their 2nd. Could be their 2nd. Don't quote me on that, but I think it might be their 2nd album released, or possibly their 3rd anyways. This one I like because it sounds very much like that classic era of Yes and early prog albums. Definitely has that feel, and primarily because Wobbler likes to use those instruments from that time period, so it gives it that, the mellotron and the Hammond organ and the acoustic guitar and all that stuff. So it gives it that feel like it came from that time period. And this one's quite good. It's grown on me quite a bit since I started listening to it. I think this one, I wouldn't have thought this, but I think this is going to rival their 5th album for me. I thought that album was going to be Runaway the best, and I like the others too, but I think this one's going to give it a challenge. And this is definitely a hidden gem. They don't get a lot of attention for this album. So Afterglow is the name of this album, by the way. Wobbler's Afterglow. Great album. Next up, from Marillion. Now, Marillion's the original Fish albums, the 4 of them. The 2 later ones, Childhood N and Clutches at Straws, get a lot of attention. A lot of people love those albums. I see them talked about a lot on different channels. This one doesn't get as much of a discussion. Script for a Jester's Tear. This is their debut album. There's lots to say good about this album. So the cover is good. It's got that definite Marillion feel to it with the Jester on there. This was my first neo-prog album. I got it almost soon after it came out. And coincidentally, I went for, I don't know, it must have been 30 years, maybe more, 35 years before I got another progressive neo-prog album at the time. I'm not sure why that happened either, because I liked this right off the bat. It's got some really strong Marillion tracks on here. The opening title track, Script for a Jester's Tear. Also, He Knows You Know, another really kind of quirky but really good song. And then Garden Party, of course, and Chelsea Monday, which are both really good. This is a strong album, I think. Like I said, definitely a hidden gem. Doesn't get as much attention as some of the other more well-known track albums. This one, too, also, I think, is a little more progressive than some of those other albums as well. But this is my pick for Marillion for a hidden gem. Marillion, Script for a Jester's Tear. And the last album in this set, I really like this band, another neo-prog band from that time period is Marillion. Some of the earlier stuff I'm not as crazy about. As they went along, once they got to Dark Matter, which is the one that gets talked about the most, or Subterranea, another big one for them, and their newest one, Dominion. But this one doesn't get nearly the attention that those do, but I think this is almost as good an album as all of those. Road of Bones, a pretty heavy album too. A lot of really good, solid tracks on here. It's waiting its turn to go into my playlist. Actually, I think it's in my playlist now. Oh, no, Dominion is in my playlist, sorry. Dominion's in my playlist. This one's waiting its turn. It will get in there. I think it'll do quite well, too, because it has that Subterranea Dark Matter feel to it. It's dark like they are. This one is a strong album from IQ, Roll the Bones. I believe this is the classic band as well, or most of the classic. Yeah, Paul Cook, Neil Durant is on here, Tim Isu, Michael Holmes, and Peter Nichols. So pretty much the main guys in the group. Like this a lot. Again, kind of a dark album like Dark Matter. Gives me that same kind of feel, I think. It's a really strong album. So IQ's Road to Bones as my hidden gem from IQ. So those are my hidden gem albums for this week. I'll give them to you again in case you like to keep a note. IQ, The Road to Bones, sorry. The Road of Bones, I always want to say two. Script for a Jester's Tear from Marillion. Wobbler's Afterglow. Supertramp's debut album. I call it the Flower Album. And then, of course, the last one is Peter Gabriel's second album released in 1977, or Scratch if you prefer. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about any of these 5 albums, you can do that in the comment section below. Or if you want to add some of your own hidden gems that you think aren't talked about enough, you can do that too. Maybe I'll talk about them somewhere. Anyways, take care, have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.